This podcast is a quest for well-being, a quest for a meaningful life through the exploration of fundamental truth. Enlightening ideas, insights on physical, mental, and spiritual health. The inspiration is love. The aspiration is to awaken new ways of thinking that can lead us to a new way of being well. Welcome to Body, Mind, and Soul Healing Conversations.
Ayurveda gives you a holistic approach to living, preventing dis-ease, aligning with your nature and nature around you, a wholesome diet, self-care practices, and a way of being that suits you. Ayurveda helps you improve the quality of your life and add longevity. The goal is to awaken and reignite your innate ability to heal. Each cell in your body has the profound wisdom it needs to be healthy. Ayurveda helps you realign to that wisdom. Valeria interviews Dr. Vaidya Ram Tamang. He is an Ayurvedic physician trained as a doctor at the esteemed Ayurvedic University, MGR Medical University at Coimbatore, India. Dr. Ram grew up learning about herbs and medicines from his grandmother in the foothills of the Himalayas in Kathmandu, Nepal. Dr. Ram also holds a certificate as a Master Herbalist from GCNM and is one of 700 elite certified high-performance coaches, CHPC, in the world. After graduating as a Doctor of Ayurvedic Medicine, BAMS, he headed the Panchakarma department at the Ayurvedic Retreat Center in Kannur, India, and worked side by side with allopathic doctors. Over the next few years, he was invited to teach and tour many schools and organizations in Europe, Nepal, and India. As the founder and owner of the Healing Gardens of Ayurveda, Dr. Ram has helped build and sustain a growing community of people passionate about the value of Ayurvedic medicine. Dr. Ram is a charismatic speaker and educator and offers numerous workshops and seminars for various organizations. In 2006, he started his practice in Orange County, South California, and has been practicing full-time for the last 18 years at the Healing Gardens of Ayurveda, a full-time Ayurvedic clinic. He is also a faculty with several Ayurvedic schools in the U.S., such as Kerala Ayurveda Academy and the Dancing Shiva Yoga and Ayurveda School. Over the last 20 years of his practice, he has served thousands of his clients to make changes in their lives and empower themselves with self-healing. He truly believes that health is in your hands and that each of us has a responsibility and desire to be healthy for ourselves, our families, our higher purpose, and contribution to our world. Meet Dr. Ram at thehealinggardens.com. Here's the interview with Dr. Ram Tamang. In your own words, who is Ram Tamang?
Wow, what a profound question. I really feel that immediately helps me tap into my own, identity and help me tap into my, purposes. And when I think about purposes, I'm not thinking about, life's purposes, but simply like the, many purposes of everyday life, right? What you want to do and what you want to be and how you want to do and how you want to be, just helping me gain clarity. And it's beautiful. But anyway, who I am, I am a very, simple, caring and inspiring, playful, person who grew up in the foothills of the Himalayas and just learning and observing, my grandma and the village elders about how plants and herbs can be used as medicine and naturally. And again, the same person who got an opportunity and people recognize something in him and, give him the opportunity to go to an amazing, unique school to, Jiddu Krishnamurti school and, learned more on connecting, and then became an Ayurvedic physician, and who also happened to be an expert herbalist and a high performance coach. And he helps, people who are really, looking for a holistic approach to health and wellness and life, and improving their energy, their emotional well-being, and just people who are frustrated with the medications and their side effects, and looking, who are confused what to do next, help them using these frameworks of Ayurvedic medicine, the herbal protocols and herbal plans, and just high performance coaching. And that's what he is.
Wow. I love your intention. I love your purpose. I love what you do. I said that off record. And there's something about using plants, nature, to nurture itself. I don't separate human beings from nature. We are nature too. We are just kind of using what is available to nurture the body. And what a beautiful, not just concept, what a beautiful science our Veda is. And I have an idea, but not enough practice. I have to practice more of it. So my follow-up question, or my second question, is about the idea of being healthy and happy. How would you describe a person when he or she is healthy and happy? Is there such a thing, a description for that?
That's another beautiful question. I mean, I think there are so many different ways of defining health. And one can say when you're disease-free, or when everything in your body, every system, every organ is functioning optimally, that you are healthy. When your mind and your body and your emotions and your spirituality is aligned to, your life and every day, when you wake up to when you go to bed, that creates healthiness. Basically your whole system, your excretory system, your senses, that actually connects the outer world to your inner world, and the inside, what's happening, everything is connected and functioning optimally. Your excretory systems are functioning well. Your emotions are at ease and peace, and in a state of bliss. I think that really is the core of health.
Wow.
And yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm listening to you and thinking, can we stay there? It sounds like a wonderful state or place to be. How long can we stay that way? Because everything keeps changing, right, Ram?
It's such a beauty.
Right?
Yes, I couldn't agree more. I think the beautiful way, this is a 5,000-year-old definition of health. It's its dynamic state of balance based on the rhythm of nature. Like our qualities and our energies are constantly fluctuating based on what it sees, what it hears, what it touches, and what it eats and what it smells. And, it's impacted by the changes in the season. It's impacted by your age and the time of the day. It's impacted during the different stages and phases of like digestion, metabolism, in the different phases of your life and seasons and geographical location. So there are so many factors that's constantly impacting your energy and your quality. So they're in a state of dynamism, but your ability to quickly be aware of that and adjust it and adapt it and bring it back to normalcy. And nature itself will bring you back to the qualitative balance. Like, in the morning, you feel a little heavier. By the day, you are more stimulated because of the sun. In the evening, you start to feel that biochemical changes, the qualitative changes, the energetic changes that makes you feel a little bit more tired and more sleepy. So when you become aware of that, it's constantly changing. So it's the health is a state of dynamic balance and harmony with your own nature and the nature outside. That's how I, put it together, and that's how I define it. And the science of yoga and Ayurveda has always said that it's a dynamic balance.
Is then becoming aware of the body and its functions and in relation to the outside world, is that the first step to self-healing, would you say?
I would totally say that. I think it's really focusing on immediately what you have a control over. Immediate, right? Your strength. I mean, as humans, we know, we feel, we experience, we see it in our body. We feel that. And then, there's the emotions and the feelings. So you cannot separate one from the other. Every sensations that you are feeling in your body is creating a psychological emotions and feelings, right? And so when you become that physical awareness of your body from head to toe, that awareness, I think, whether you call it, is it really the physical body to start your health and wellness journey, or is it your emotional journey? You can't separate it. It's so linked with one another. It's almost like it's in the same pot, and it's the same foundation. So it's difficult to really separate that. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, right. That's so true. So it is awareness in the sense, but it's almost like it's all encompassing awareness. It's not separated from the body and the mind. It's just
that's right.
One
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Another question, open question, is about the purpose of the human experience. What do you feel that is?
Again, what an amazing question, right? The purpose is really to come to a realization by understanding the simple qualities of the mind. It has that ability to discern, ability to remember, like memories, and then it also has the ability to realize the interconnectedness of your individual soul to your higher universal consciousness. And so that realization is where I think the huge human purpose comes down to play, and how every actions, your coping mechanism, your reactions, your responses has a ripple effect on the outcome and how you're influencing your loved ones, your close people you come across with, not limited to people, the nature, the animals, and pets, all of that. So the purpose is really to realization. Self-realization is the higher purpose of, being a human and being alive.
Beautiful answer.
Thank you.
Is that what we call enlightenment, Ram?
Again, it's a powerful word, right? You can call, when we think about enlightenment, are we thinking it in terms of long term? Long term, there's for everything, there is your daily moment to moment balance and required self-realization, right? Self-realization is, being aware that you are connected to the world outside, and the world around you, your environment and your universe outside is connected to you. You are the micro reflection of the macro universe. So having said that, I think, one of the main thing that comes down to play is enlightenment. Immediately when we think about it, it's like a larger, higher purpose and concept. But self-realization is momentary, how you show up. What is your energy like when you are in that moment? Your intentions, your intuitions, and so those are the things that I feel is a very subtle differences. So, but to answer that, is self-realization or more of an enlightenment? I think in the long term, yes, because that's really gaining clarity that, you are interconnected. And so whether it's in the moment to moment realization or higher consciousness, enlightenment, connecting to your individual consciousness and the universal consciousness, that's the enlightenment.
Another question is about, you have been talking about already spirituality, but what is your idea of spirituality? Would that be the same, the moment to moment realization of our connectivity to it all?
I would absolutely, say so in a way, because, spirituality, from the concept and the principles that the Indian subcontinent, where they talk about the healing process of connecting with being spiritual, is very personal, right? It's really like when that realization comes into being of you become one in spirit, is when you start to experience spirituality. Being in spirit is, like spirituality. So spirituality, could mean, because people can really, process it differently. And, people say, I'm very spiritual for what I do, but, you have lack of awareness of how you are showing up. And then, just trying to pray alone, is that spirituality? I think, for me, that's not spirituality, but being conscious, tapping into that subconscious emotions, your conscious emotions, and your conscious interconnectedness, that when you connect each of these and realize that your emotions, your body, your feelings, and your mind are a doorway to that higher consciousness, I think when you're connected to all of that and that's aligned, you are far more a spiritual being.
At this time, what do you feel is the world's greatest need?
That's a beautiful, again, I think understanding, needing love and kindness and compassion and connection. We are all dying for that, whether it's in an individual level or, as a whole world. We feel unheard. We feel, a lack of compassion and respect and misunderstood. And isn't that a struggle that we're all going through in an individual, individual level or as a whole, as a world? There is that dichotomy, the conflict. And simply what I think the world really needs is that listening ear of kindness, love, compassion, just respecting that just existence and the journey of life, and trying to, really have that honoring that you're alive. And I think that's what, the world needs today, a lot more of that sensitivity.
Yeah. Yes, a trillion times to that, to understanding love, kindness, yes, listening. And when I think about with the thinking mind, analytical mind, the question that comes is, what has been a challenge for me is trying to understand or hold space for those human beings who are dwelling in, let's say, violent thoughts. Even they have been actually bringing the thoughts to this reality, and you see now with the Ukraine and Russia, this war.
Yeah.
So how do we learn to hold the space to understand, love, and be kind to those who speak from a place of lack, of fear, of aggression?
Well, once again, what a beautiful question. I wish we all ask that to ourselves. How do we bring that? How do we tap into that? Because that'll really help you focus on what you want and how you want it to be. Because the more you focus on what you focus on, your energy flows there, right? Energy flows where your focus is, where your attention is, and how much time and duration you give to it. So having said that, the world has so much conflict. As I said, it really goes back down to how do we deal with those emotions of hatred and frustrations and things. Beautifully that Ayurvedically we say that, based on events of how and what you have gone through, your past experiences, we react and we respond. And that creates a sensation. So based on what you have seen, what you have heard, what you're seeing, and, and all of those sensory like perceptions, creates a sensation in your body and creates a feeling and emotions. And it's basically a certain rhythm and a pattern that you are comfortable in. So we tend to go into those emotions because that's how you have coped with it. That's how you have dealt with it. That's how you have seen people around you, deal with it. And so you tend to only understand that. But the beautiful thing here is, in any situation, your circumstances need not trigger. I mean, it will happen, like how you said, you're not alone when you feel frustrated, angry about it. But you have to learn to ask, is this serving me and my health? Is it, helping me create a better flow and a grow? And is it helping me, tap into that higher consciousness? Or is it creating a constriction? And, is it creating more, tension? Because when you ask that question, then immediately it helps you to say, no, that's the reality. And you have to learn to, that's the emotions and feelings based on your past experiences you're feeling. But it is that thought process that creates a feeling. And then in any situation, you have a choice. and an ability and an option to choose how you cope with it, how you react to it, and how you respond to it, and how and what actions you take. I think that's where I go back onto the simple principles of Ayurveda that, if you can remember who you want to be and what is that you want to be, it really reminds you of that and helps you in any situation. You start to contribute and make a difference in any events and situations. I know it's a very, profound topic and you can go on discussing about it, but, deep, I believe I truly believe that, there is, how you're processing the situation, how you're processing and what energy are you bringing to that space to find a solution.
Yes, it really resonates, even energetically resonates true.
Yeah,
absolutely.
To me. Thank you, Valeria. I appreciate that. Yeah.
That is just so true. What can I say? When I feel that way, that's exactly, yes, something in me says, what are you about? And then I calm down and then everything becomes loving and kind again. So true. So you are an Ayurvedic physician, and you're also the founder of the Healing Gardens of Ayurveda.
Yes.
Talk to me for a moment, Ram, about your work. What do you offer through your company? It's a full-service Ayurvedic clinic, actually. How wonderful.
Yes. Yeah. So what we do is really help people who are looking for alternative, holistic, natural, a natural way to manage their health concerns, whether it's mind, body, emotional struggles, or, dealing with the very physical, fatigue and, side effects of, medications, aches and pains, inflammation, whatever it might be, right? So what we do is we use the framework of herbal protocols and then natural, holistic diet and nutritional plans. We have, natural therapies, Ayurvedic treatments, body works that we do, like wide range of Ayurvedic body works. And then we also do like the Vedic and spiritual coaching and counseling to improve your health and emotional and physical health. So those are the things that, we offer at our center.
I'm curious about, I think I never asked before, what is the meaning of the word Ayurveda or the translation of it?
Wow, that usually I take a whole weekend or more to even explain that.
Oh, no. Not a good question to ask here.
No, it's a fantastic question. The reason is because it has such a multi-layered answer, and just by literal translation, it means, it literally means knowledge about your life. Ayur means your life, and knowledge, Veda simply means the understanding and the knowledge of life. It's an art and science of healthy being. Now, just when we talk about being, you could really understand it from so many multi-layered, level of understanding of just being, right? And so the same way, it's like literally the literal translation is Ayurveda, which simply means it's a way of being and a way of living to optimize and maximize your potentials on a physical level and emotional level to live life to its fullest.
What a beautiful tool to have. That's what I see. And I do have books and I have interviewed so many people, but It's funny how it's almost like a call, isn't it, Ram, in a way? It's a calling, right?
Totally. And Valeria, like the beautiful thing about Ayurveda is it's such a simple, common sense practices. So it's really about, like how you manage your day and what you do when you wake up to when you go to bed, and, your daily routines, your daily rhythms, and like how you adjust and adapt to the changes in the seasons, and how you adapt based on what you're feeling and what you need to do, your daily lifestyle, daily habits, like what you eat, when you eat, how you eat, what are the things, what you do, when you do, how you do, when you go to bed, and, the quality and the quantity of sleep, all of these little things, such common sense practice is the Ayurvedic medicine and its concepts and principles. And, it's so beautiful because it's such profound spiritual practices, but at the same time, it's very, very practical and implementable intellectual practices. And so that's why it's profound.
I remember the first time I came across Ayurvedic medicine, I read about the Ayurvedic doshas, I think you pronounce it, the Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, if I pronounced them correctly.
Yes, you did.
I was so impressed how accurate it was. I could not believe, like, oh my God, is that possible? For something like this to be out there, it's almost like a secret.
It is. Wow. It is. But it's not a secret because it's been on around us, right?
Yeah.
5,000 years since. People have always, when you're cold, you do something that's warming for you, right?
Yeah.
And when you're feeling hot, you do something to cool your body. When you're feeling heavy, you do something to lighten it. When you're feeling light, you do something to ground. When you're feeling dry, you do some. So like increases or like the opposite decreases. And, qualities, understanding the qualities within you, in your body and in your emotions, and understanding the qualities in nature, the qualities of the sun, the moon, the wind and the water and the earth, and how that can be used qualitative, when you understand the qualities of each of those, and then that can be, used to help you heal, those imbalances. So it's very, very practical. That's
practical, rich, accurate, fascinating to me. Fascinating. I wish you were here in Florida. I don't think we have a center here in Florida. Are you thinking about opening one here too, Ram? Do you have a plan to expand?
The thing about it is, we talk about adaptability, right? So, I have always been in more of a brick and mortar clinic, but I've started to open up more a virtual, service now, where people can actually reach out, and we do the Ayurvedic consultations, the assessment, the coaching, and then, that can be done through Zoom, Skype, in FaceTime, and we have been mailing people the herbs and the plants virtually throughout the country, and many people even outside of the country of the United States. And so, so we have opened up that, for the people, and they have more access to us now.
Right. So it is available. That's wonderful to know. And that's true. I have seen on your website you offer the consultation. You have the cleanse and the detox program.
That's
so that's the cleanse kit. Yeah, that looks incredible, because we all, even when we think that we are feeling optimal, sometimes it's just imbalances happen throughout the day. Like you said, everything is constantly changing, the energies. And that's a wonderful resource to have. So I'll definitely look into it myself, because my husband and I would really love that too, for sure.
The benefits and the outcome is what people always remember. I've been doing that and serving people, for here in the States for almost 18 years, and people who come with a lot of inflammation, pain, fatigue, and, like anxiety, disturbed sleep, autoimmune disorders like, psoriatic conditions, joint issues, all that. And, they see within 2 weeks, their energy shift, and transform tremendously. They walk out saying that they've never felt that, clarity and the lightness in their full body and mind. Their pain, the intensity right away decreasing, their, metabolism improved, losing weight, and, anywhere people lose weight from anywhere from 3 pounds to even 25 pounds within 2 weeks of just eating healthy, not fasting and not dieting like that, and so people are always amazed by that. And the cleanses is everything that we offer is very, very personalized, and, customized and individualized for that person, that person's body type, that person's, imbalances. And so, that's why even our initial consult is usually 90 minutes to an hour to a 90 minutes. That's,
So. It's very comprehensive. It's not something that anybody would just buy the kit and take it.
We don't have that option.
Good to know.
Thank you.
Good to know. It's not that kind of self-healing, right?
No.
Oh, I'll look into it for sure. I feel very energized and vibrant most of the time. But there is a time of the month for women during the menstruation time. That's when everything's out of balance in a way. And the mind doesn't work the same way, doesn't respond to the same thought processes that I used to have. It's not the same. So is that something that could help women with menopause or the premenstrual syndrome and all that as well, Ram?
Oh, wow. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, those are such a common problem. So Valeria, what I can say is, anybody that who's experiencing that, they are not alone. But the beautiful thing is there are ways to work on that. I always talk about the transitions are when you're the most vulnerable, when there's a change happening. And so there's a hormonal change that impacts your body and that impacts your mood. Ayurveda has already said that, you cannot separate your body from your emotions. There is a new studies today. What they talk about is, PNI. I don't know if you're aware of that, which simply means psychoneuroimmunology. How it impacts, psycho endoneuroimmunology. Basically what they're saying is one impacts the other, right? The endocrine system, the hormones impacts your immunity, that your hormones impact your neurotransmitters, and all the neurotransmitters, and then your emotion, the psychology. So they are so innately connected to one another. And so when during that hormonal change, when it's a cycle and a rhythm, you're the most vulnerable. I mean, that's why in many cultures, they used to say those 3 days, you should just rest and, connect with your body and allow the body to do what it does. But our modern culture doesn't allow that anymore. Right? I mean, it is one of those, and that's what they say when during that, time, you're the most vulnerable to any imbalances and viruses and bacteria too. So beautifully said. And, and then that's what, with all that information, but just adding a little bit of the fun to and joke to it, I always tell my friends, male friends, if you understand a lady, for that 3 to 5 days in her monthly, you're going to have a very balanced and a happy life. I joke around with that, but because the reality is So to answer, do we help with that? Absolutely. We've seen results. People have been always amazed with dealing with those anxieties, those mood swings, hot flashes and cramps and, heavy bleeding and so all sorts of issues. And there are Ayurvedic ways to really work on that, and with simple herbal protocols. Sometimes you don't even have to do the cleanse. You could just bring about some lifestyle changes, bring about some changes in the way you've been breathing, and bring about a change in your breathing practices, and simple herbs and food changes, right? I mean, the products that you use in your home, they can all be endocrine disruptors. Oh my God. So all that, so yes, but, cleanses is when it has really impacted your cellular level, it has impacted your systems deeper. Then you do the cleanse to reset and to restart. Yeah, that's how I put it together.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful to know too. Thank you so much, Ram, for explaining that. So some of us can go through the process of the consultation, and then we might or might not need the kit, right? The whole cleansing
Exactly.
kit. Okay,
exactly.
That's good to know.
Exactly.
Wonderful. And that's something that I think I need, honestly. The changes are incredible. And I meditate, I do yoga, and I eat healthy, I exercise. I think I do everything right, but it still affects. I feel the impact. It's not easy. It goes back to the body, right? And the emotions. You talk about the mind. So emotions, when we suppress them, then they lead to issues, not just in the body, but the mind too, right? Around both.
Totally.
So how do we learn to recognize the signs when we have been kind of suppressing emotions and now they are in the body and being manifested in the body and mind? How do we learn to recognize those signs?
Amazing question. I think what a beautiful question. Most important thing is just asking yourself, how am I feeling? Are you feeling a little bit more agitated? And as you ask that, you can close your eyes and feel your heart race and your, the muscles and, you're just listening to your body, how it's responding to all of that emotions and feelings. and how your body is reacting to that. I mean, we never do that. We never do that. And how do we recognize that is really like the impact of every feeling. We don't even know sometimes what we are feeling and what we want to
Yes,
feel.
so true.
Honestly, we're in that, automatic reactory on coping mechanism. We're just going through that. We don't take a moment to really ask, how am I feeling? That embracing that is so important. And that is what there's no emotions that's bad, because it was helping you survive and thrive. And it has brought us to where we are as humanity. Right? But what is essential is it shortening your life? And is it impacting those emotions, your immune system, your endocrine system, your cardiovascular system, your detox systems, all of those, and your nervous system, and your all of this, because every system is connected. So when you realize that, how do you realize it? Is by simply trying to ask that question, saying, how am I feeling? And what's the impact it's having in my body? And just quickly focusing your energy towards, what do I want to feel? And you can even, give a name to it. Like, I want to be joyous. And what does that look like? Focus on that. What does that mean? Like, I want to be a little bit more, enthusiastic about life. Or am I like, is my emotion kind of constricting me or helping me? And I expand. Is it creating a little flow or creating more, I call it confusion and more fluttering? Whether it's adrenal, whether it's your heart, whether it is your lymphatic system, whether it is your digestive system, is it increasing more acidity or depleting the secretion of, the digestive fluids? So all of that, the sensation when you close your eyes and ask that, it really allows that, the muscle tension. So simple, like, tightness, the increased pulse rate, increased blood pressure, the fluctuation in your, sugar, your metabolism, your bloatedness, your gassiness, all of that is what gives you, helps you realize, that impact it's having in the body, every emotion.
Yeah, so in a way, it's simple, but it's not easy. It's simple, but not easy.
It is. It's so true, because it is simple. And the idea is to make it simple so that you can actually act on it.
Yeah. So it becomes easy, right?
Yeah. Because sometimes we become, we analyze and we complicate it and create more confusion.
Yes, that's for sure. Oh my God. We're almost at the end, but I do have another question for you about that relates to my own experience in the body, in the female body, and going through emotions and all this. Do you believe that there is a time also that the body and the mind can have that space to be sad, to be reflective, introspective? Is that something that's also natural from your perspective? Or there's no such a thing? We should always feel vibrant, energized, and ready to go all the time.
I think, Valeria, it's what a beautiful question. That you have to create to feel those emotions for reflection. That is when it's about you tapping into deepening your awareness of really feeling those negative emotions of sadness and anxiety and, frustration, anger and grief and all of those emotions. And, I just want to share that I was talking with my partner about it. And, as women, probably you're experiencing a lot more because you have gone through as a society, as, we live in this patriarchal dominant society, not necessarily always, because of which you might be dealing with more of those emotions. And it's okay to feel those. Oh, it's totally okay. And you should reflect on it. You should give a little time and energy to digest it and resolve it, though. It's really about how long you hold on to it and what are you doing to create those emotions and to flow and for you to heal. Because if you hold on to it too long without resolving it, that is when most of the issues, women today, or, even, men, I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is most women have never had that ability to express their emotions, communicate what they're feeling. They had to always be the server, serve. And they didn't have that time for themselves and to reflect on what do they want? What are they feeling? Sometimes And so I really believe that, it's essential for you to really, just express those and be able to communicate those. And sometimes, again, I mean, the male partner who's just thinking with just two hormones may not be able to understand and, be vibrant, be energetic, be this. But then there's a lot more complexities to it. And it's about being able to embrace that feeling, acknowledging that about what it's doing. And then again, but just asking that question, how can I resolve it? How can I, dissolve this tension that I'm feeling? And maybe what always helps is a small community of friends, having a circle, connection, all of that also really, really tends to help in addition to other things, so those are the external factors, because when you connect with yourself, it's your physical and emotional health. When you connect with your the people and peers and around and outside, then you add more life and quality and vibrance into your life.
Yes, yeah. I love your suggestions and your wisdom. It just always resonates true. Everything you say, pretty much, I have to say. It's really...
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Yeah, beautifully communicated. It's very clear, too. It's something that I love, the idea that we can find the answers within, and we do need reflection. We do need to be alone sometimes, not for too long, I agree, dwelling with those emotions. It is very much the case with me. I consider myself an introvert, and especially that time of the month, I do want to be alone. And I do want to be reflective. But my husband doesn't understand that much. So that has been an interesting challenge. Let's leave it that way in a way.
Yes.
So we're almost at the end. I do have a few more questions for you, the ending questions. But before that, would you like to add anything else that we left unsaid?
No, I think, it's such a beautiful question, very simple, just understanding, connecting, and really understanding the qualities of the elements in nature, like, the qualities of the fire element, the water element, the earth element, and the air element, and space, and how each of those constitutes yourself in your body. And they also have those qualities. And when you feel a little bit of this one quality of heat is excess, then you have to look at what activities am I doing? How am I using my senses that's adding to more heat? Am I eating more heating food? Am I exercising in the middle of the day? Am I, is my tendency and personality a little bit more fiery? When you start to do that and adjust and adapt, I think understanding the quality inside of you, outside of you, and adding more quality to your life is what I would say you need to, I hope that people can resonate and add to that and to make a change and transform their life.
What is another word for life?
I think, the another word for life is really experiencing fulfillment. Fulfillment comes from, how much and how you show up and how much energy you give to all areas of life, right? And life is that, like, your experiences, like your health, your relationship, your career, your community, and what's important to you. And, like just experiencing that silence and stillness and finding that peace and calmness and joy and experiencing the freedom of being alive. Really, I think it truly comes down to that, and just gaining clarity. What does it mean to me? What is life to me? Just gaining clarity, right? And where there is clarity, they say there's love. Where there's love, there's freedom. Oh my God, everything connects. So life is experience.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. You answered all of my questions. I had another one. Now we don't have any. Yeah, you just answered them all. Freedom, love, fulfillment, all of this. And that's life is all about the experiencing those things. I want to thank you again for your beautiful presence. It's very light and vibrant and healthy, and in so many ways. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, for doing what you do, helping yourself and others at the same time. It's just a precious experience to have. Thank you so much again, Ram.
You're so kind. Thank you so much, Valeria, for having me on your show.
Thank you. And before we say goodbye, where can we find more information about you, your work, products, services, and future projects?
So the best way is to contact me, connect with us through our website. It's thehealinggardens.com with only one G between the healing and the gardens.com. And then you can also find us on, our social media. And also if you're local to United States, you can reach out on our phone number is 714-730-7919. Please connect. And if you have, any questions, we'd be more than happy to support you. And let's connect.
Yes, connection. That's another powerful tool we have. Thank you so much again, Ram, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about Dr. Ram Tamang and his work, please visit thehealinggardens.com.
To learn more about this podcast, please visit fitforjoy.org/podcast. Thank you again for listening, and bye for now.